Hey, MotoAmerica fans, this is Jake Gagne. Thanks for watching. Subscribe to the MotoAmerica YouTube channel for more coverage, and like, comment. Let's go.
Welcome back to MotoAmerica Live Plus with me, Michael Hill. Alongside me, Roger Hayden, who has been sat in the commentary box getting a bird's eye view of this 2.5-mile circuit. There's a chap who's having a pretty good afternoon, isn't he, Roger, over there. Round 6 of the championship, the MotoAmerica Series. The flares are going off as well. That's the Kaleb De Keyrel fan club, it looks like, over there. And there's every possibility that Kaleb De Keyrel could extend his lead, Rog.
Yeah, definitely. He's really starting to get going today, qualifying third, and being his hometown race in the crowd, he's going to be finding that extra motivation.
Let's have a look then at the grid for race 1 this weekend for the Twins Cup. Jody Barry on pole, Hayden Schultz, Kaleb De Keyrel. Second row headed by Anthony Mazziato, Teague Hobbs and Jackson Blackmon. All 3 manufacturers competing in the Twins Cup Championship are in the first 6 positions. Liam McDonald, his best qualifying ahead of the crooner. Toby Kamsuk, Chris Parrish is there in 9th. Ryan Snooks, John Knowles, Brett Donoghue. We go back to Darren James, Jonathan Champ and Michael Henao in the top 15. Keep your eyes out too. A little bit further back there, number 21, Trevor Ceci, 19 years old, his first race, 21st, not last. That's a pretty good debut.
No, not at all. You got to start somewhere, right?
Absolutely. Red flag then. Keep your eyes on the front row of the grid. Kaleb De Keyrel has typically been one of the fastest starters all season long. He's got a 15-point lead in the championship over the rider that's down on his left in the number 18, Jackson Blackmon. Watch for the lights. We are getting ready to go racing. They're holding them for a very long time, Roger Hayden. Jody Barry waited, away we go. Great start from Liam McDonald on the inside, heading down towards turn 1. Liam McDonald, I thought for a second there he was going to pass 7 people into turn 1.
He got a good run, but just kind of ran out of track there. But what a great start by Kaleb De Keyrel, and also Teague Hobbs all the way taking the lead already in the second turn.
Yeah, Teague Hobbs, of course, already on the podium this year. He's well featured in the championship. Doubling up this weekend in Superstock. Down on the inside, Mazziato's all out of shape. Kaleb De Keyrel is out of shape. That was almost 3 Aprilias on the floor and a Yamaha sandwich down there. That's all kicking off on the opening lap. They come back up towards us now, and already 4 or 5 abreast as they come down into turn 4. This is where we saw Loris Baz go down, and we almost saw the second Italian bike on the floor there, Rog.
Yeah, a lot of these guys are struggling with grip early in the race, and I think also, not maybe this part of the track, but once these guys start coming to turn 1, 2, and 3, the wind, it's really windy this afternoon, and I think it's going to play a factor.
Here is a little replay on the left of our screen, just getting a little bit loose on that opening lap as they come through to complete the first lap. Liam McDonald running a little bit wide. He's in a fight as at the front Jody Barry now takes over the lead of this race. Oh, and almost hits the floor. He misses a gear. Misses another gear, and he's got big problems as around the outside comes Mazziato. And where is Kaleb De Keyrel? Kaleb De Keyrel, who was leading, is now back into 5th place, so we didn't see what happened to Keyrel. 49 up the inside, that is Hayden Schultz. That's his first ride on the R7 Yamaha this year. You said it was going to be a good one. I'm going to have to pause for breath.
I know these guys this top 5 are not wanting to let each other get away, and you're going to see here, I think the draft up this front straightaway will definitely close this group up a little bit.
Yeah, the slipstream, especially in the smaller classes, tends to play a bigger part. Mazziato with the lead, Jody Barry with the slipstream. Nothing between them, but he takes a lovely little move through there at turn 2. A lot of trust in the front end, Roger, at turn 2. And the top 5 just seem to be breaking away a fraction.
And Jody Barry has showed a lot of pace this week, kind of been the quickest guy every session besides the qualifier. This morning he has a crash.
And down goes Jody Barry. Jody Barry goes down. The poleman has thrown it away at turn 3. We said he was having some problems. He's limping away. He just stops to take his breath. Incredible action already, and we've already lost one of our leading runners.
He's had the worst luck this year, always been on pace to win the races, and just always either bike or a little crash like that. It's really unfortunate to see that happen.
So we now have a leading group of 8. Liam McDonald, the fast starter, has been overtaken by Chris Parrish. Chris Parrish on the 128, a multiple podium finisher in this category. Let's have a look at what just happened to Jody Barry. Goes into the chicane, and then we lose the picture. No, there we pick it up, and we've already lost him. He was just in a bit too hot, wasn't he?
Yeah, it looks like just lost the front end.
Yeah. Mazziato then leading, looking for his first win. He's got a nice little advantage there. That's more than 2 or 3 bike lengths, Roger.
Looks like he's pulled out about a half a second this lap on Teague Hobbs. Kaleb De Keyrel now is up into third.
A little bit wide there for the Yamaha of Hayden Schultz. And one rider we haven't talked about too much so far is Jackson Blackmon. He is tucked there, the pink and blue machine. Just keeping a watching brief, and you can't afford to let Mazziato get into his rhythm, can you? Because he will get the advantage, and that will be more than the slipstream. Robbie Floyd and I have switched places, and Robbie, I believe you're down there in pit lane. It has been an exciting opening couple of laps, and there's still 9 to go.
Yeah, it's been good unless you're in the paddock that I'm at, and that is the Jody Berry camp, and they were disappointed seeing what happened with him. But the one thing we haven't really talked about, or asked we hadn't talked about, is Hayden Schultz as well as Jackson Blackmon. Hayden Schultz, who'd been riding Aprilias all year long with the Robham Engineering team, now on his own team and riding the Yamahas. He's currently in 4th place right now. Jackson Blackmon just behind him in 5th on the number 18. Now, he started off the year on Yamahas, but these are different Yamahas. These are the new Yamaha R7. It recently got homologated, but so much of these two bikes are like the old bikes, the FC and the MT. They are very, very similar with the motor as well as the handling of this bike, but the aero package is totally different. So both of these guys used to be on Yamahas, just not these Yamahas.
Yeah, that's a really good point, isn't it, Roger? The new R7 Yamaha, very similar motor, so the engine characteristics and the way that Jackson Blackmon and Hayden Schultz are riding these machines will feel quite similar, but it's all to do with aerodynamics, isn't it?
Yeah, and it looks more like the R6, but one good thing about them, Liam McDonald looked like he's had a crash. But
yeah, Liam McDonald, who went down this morning, has gone down again, and it's the second crash in 2 sessions for Liam McDonald. He just needs to reset overnight and come back tomorrow.
Yeah, just try to come back tomorrow, and like you said, put today behind you. You can't go back and change it. But back to the R7 with the engine kind of being the same as the previous engine. When they go to a lot of these racetracks, they should already kind of be pretty close on setup with the gearing.
Mazziato looks like he's pretty set, not just with the gearing, but with this 2.5-mile road course, as Hayden Schultz moves into 3rd position. That's the first time this season that we have seen Hayden Schultz in a podium position, and it just seems like he's got his mojo back, doesn't it? He's back on a Yamaha, a machine that he's ridden in the past, and he's just starting to believe in himself again. Yeah,
it looks like he's got his confidence back that we've seen last year, and you know, was quickest in the qualifying this morning in this race here. Looks like he's starting to show a lot of speed. Also, Jackson Blackmon starting to get right on the tail of this group as well.
3 manufacturers in the top 3. It's Aprilia from Suzuki and Yamaha, and Hayden Schultz. A little bit of a look there from De Keyrel, and that's messed him up. In a lot of these corners, we do talk about the circuit. And Jackson Blackmon takes advantage on the inside of the carousel. That is a lovely move, and Hayden Schultz is trying to go through at the chicane as well. 2 abreast. We haven't seen that yet. Didn't make it stick. But that point I was going to make was we've got such a different kind of circuit. One part so fast, and if you mess up turn 3 or 4, that ruins you through 5, 6, and 7. And we saw a perfect example of that there.
Yeah, and Jackson Blackmon's really looking good right now. You know, this last couple laps really closed up on this group and making a pass there in the carousel. So it looks like he's starting to figure out his way around this R7 as well.
Absolutely. And Robbie, we've talked throughout the season and in the past, of course, about Jackson Blackmon on the Twins Cup bike. He's not a crazy rider. He's quite prepared to sit in the group and watch what's going on, isn't he?
Well,
go, Robbie.
Yeah. Oh, sorry, I got it now. He's a great rider, but he's also been looking forward to riding this new bike. We talk about the similarities with the R7. I just walked past his camp just a moment ago and asked his father about the bike, because we know Hayden Schultz is running this stuff off of the old Yamaha, the same suspension setup, the same motor. Well, Jackson Blackmon has the same motor that he might have had, but he's running the R7 fork. So he's trying to really dedicate himself to this R7 program. He said tomorrow morning's warm-up, they may try something different. So he is running the R7 stuff. They definitely haven't had any time with it quite like they've had this stuff they've been developing through the years.
Yeah, that's interesting to see. And again, it's one of those things, we talked about it earlier in the season with Jackson Blackmon. At what point do you take the gamble? And I guess if he's looking at doing the series maybe full-time next year, you've got 3 or 4 races left. If you take the gamble and the gamble works, you can use these races as testing, can't you? And Jackson,
yeah, exactly.
Again looking on the inside. Sorry to cut you in there.
It's also quite a risky move too. A guy that's only 15 points out of the lead to come in here and switch bikes mid-season when you're already on a bike that's you know, winning races. But he's also proven that they can make this bike competitive as well. Teague Hobbs made a mistake this last lap, headed into turn 3, ran a little bit wide on exit and went from second all the way back to 5th, so he's going to have a little bit of work to do.
He is indeed, but Anthony Mazziato is now 2.8 seconds clear at the front of this field, and this is unusual in Twins Cup racing. We're used to seeing really close battles right down to the last lap, last corner, but Mazziato was checked out here. He's going to have to make a mistake, or something's going to have to go wrong for him to really lose this race now.
And I think all these guys battling like this is really playing into his favor. Them going back and forth every corner, going 3 wide in the carousel, kind of slowing each other up a little bit, is definitely working in his favor.
Fully agree. Hayden Schultz in second. Kaleb De Keyrel has now got back ahead of Jackson Blackmon. So in terms of the championship, 25, 20, 16, 13, that would be 3 more points. In fact, now make that 7 points, so that becomes a 22-point advantage. And this is where Jackson Blackmon needs to stay calm, isn't it? He can see De Keyrel making moves in the usual fashion that we see, starting slowly and working up. Jackson doesn't need to panic. He doesn't need to capitalize immediately. No, the last thing he wants to do is collide with his Yamaha compatriot and end up with 0 points.
No, not at all. He looks like he can see Kaleb trying to get away and doesn't want to let that happen because he knows he needs to start making up some points.
Lap 6 of 12. We're approaching the halfway distance lap in this race. Variety of lines into the chicane.
How about Chris Parrish right there, 6th place, right there in this podium battle?
Yeah, Chris Parrish, who did not test earlier in the weekend. He's slowly but surely figuring out this Brainerd International circuit. And let's not forget, he's got a lot of experience. He knows how to ride a Twins Cup bike. He's been at the forefront of this category. As a mistake from De Keyrel, from Schultz, and Schultz is getting squeezed by Blackmon, who is taking no prisoners. And Blackmon now, you can see Blackmon's getting frustrated. He's saying, come on, let's stop playing with each other. We're going to lose the chance of the podium here.
Yeah, I guess Jackson must think he has a little bit more pace, and if he just follows him, he can maybe catch up and not let Kaleb get away. If they keep dicing up, close that gap back up to Kaleb.
Absolutely. Mazziato, the gap comes down to 2.5 seconds. And Kaleb De Keyrel on the last lap was 0.8 of a second quicker than Mazziato. So maybe Mazziato had a little bit of a moment somewhere, but still a 2.5 second advantage.
Last lap, though, Kaleb De Keyrel was 0.8 quicker than Anthony Mazziato with the fastest lap of the race.
We need to keep an eye on that as they go through the first split. We can tell from our commentary position they're virtually identical times for Mazziato and Kaleb De Keyrel. Both on Aprilias, different teams. Mazziato, whilst he's not really featuring in the championship fight, he could be a player in the championship, couldn't he? If he keeps winning races and taking the big 25 points at the top, it means these lower podium positions and top 6 finishes will become even more vital.
Also, in a race like Laguna, whenever he gets second and, Kaleb wins, he definitely could take some big points out of guys when he does that.
Again, Kaleb De Keyrel is on another good lap. He's taken half a second out of Anthony Mazziato on this lap. The gap is now down to just over 2 seconds. And the difference between Mazziato and De Keyrel is this. De Keyrel can see him. Mazziato is the man with the target on the back. You've been a rider, you've won races, you've fought at the front of many, many different circuits. How difficult is it for the likes of Anthony Mazziato, who has never won a race in the Twins Cup? The pressure will be starting to get to him now. He'll be starting to hear noises. He'll be thinking, counting down the laps, or what's that noise, what's going on? He doesn't have anybody to follow, no benchmark.
No, and each lap, the board kept getting bigger and bigger. The next lap you come around, the guy takes out 0.8, so you kind of lose your concentration. Looks like he stepped it up a little bit that lap and only lost 0.6.
On the left hand of the screen, they're waving at us. It's the Veloce Racing team. They're not going to be waving too much more if this gap comes down. It's down to 1.9 seconds, Robbie Floyd.
And you remember earlier on this year, we saw Anthony Mazziato out in front, and he threw it away, had some issues, and he's still looking for that first victory. I came up to his crew and I said, well, this bike was supposed to be developed at the Ridge and getting ready for Max Toth to be able to ride it in the Twins Cup. So are we going to see Max Toth at, the next stop at Pittsburgh? And they said, no, the plan now is to have Anthony on it at Pittsburgh. Their goal, and again, they're lacking another bike. They need the parts. They need another bike to make it happen. They hope to have both Max Toth and Anthony Mazziato when we make it to New Jersey. So this team's looking for their first victory here in Twins Cup with Anthony Mazziato, and they might even have a chance to have Max Toth later on this year at New Jersey as well.
You can see Kaleb getting into the picture in the frame right there in the back.
Yeah, I was just going to say, it'd be great if we did see Max Toth on the bike. He's a Junior Cup rider for the same team. But also thinking about this, the championship's not over. there's still about 150 points up for grabs. If Mazziato keeps winning and all of a sudden you throw Max Todt into the mix and you get a couple of other riders in the mix, a 40-point deficit can soon be eroded. Yes. Mazziato could still win this championship.
Especially if, say, something happens and Kaleb makes a mistake in a race, DNS loses 25 points, he could get back in it pretty quick. We've seen Jackson Blackmon set out the first 2 races with an injury. It didn't take him long to get in the championship battle.
And talking of Jackson Blackmon, he's not just in the championship battle, he is now closing in considerably on Teague Hobbs. He has a little look on the inside. Hobbs himself is also a little bit late there, makes a mistake, does Teague Hobbs. He will lose a position to Hayden Schultz. But on the last lap around, it was Jackson Blackmon and Teague Hobbs. They were 0.3 of a second quicker than De Keyrel. This is coming back together, Roger. This is telescoping together for another Twins Cup grandstand finish.
Yeah, this group, you can tell it just in the camera shot how much closer it's getting. Teague Hobbs looks like he's struggling a little bit in turn 3. He made a couple mistakes there, and it makes me think that maybe the wind is pushing him in a little bit.
Anthony Mazziato still with a 1.7 second lead. Hayden Schultz looking for a first podium of the season. Jackson Blackmon in that 3rd position, but he would lose 3 points. In fact, no, he would lose 4 points. Oh, no! Jackson Blackmon goes down. Jackson Blackmon throws away what could have been a podium, and he has handed a massive points advantage to Kaleb De Keyrel. The Yamaha R7 is on the floor, and these bikes are not like a Junior Cup bike. He's not going to pick that up as easily as he did when he was in Junior Cup.
No, just surprisingly, he can't pick it up, though.
And Jackson Blackmon now surrenders any chance of taking the lead in the championship heading out of Minnesota. It's a 0 points for the number 18. Blackmon is dropping down the order and he's absolutely distraught.
Last lap, Kaleb took 0.7 out of Anthony Mazziato. He keeps doing that. He's going to be there on that last lap.
The gap is down to a second. You've called this right, Roger Hayden. The gap is down to a second. Kaleb De Keyrel will not know that his nearest championship rival is on the floor. 20 points plus 15 is 35. If they stay as they are now, whatever happens, Kaleb De Keyrel will be leading the championship tomorrow when we leave Minnesota. Here's a look, and he just lost the front, just went in a little bit hot to the carousel. And how many times have we said that at this circuit? If you just get a little bit offline, half a foot, you're on the floor. And here's a second look at it. Yeah, just a little bit too fast, hard on the brakes. And of course, that's difficult because you're trailing the brakes there. You're still trying to scrub off speed as you head into the
you're trailing the brakes pretty far, but also the bike didn't flip. That's why I think maybe if possibly he could have picked it up, he could have maybe got back in the race. But you can see, look how close Kaleb De Keyrel is now.
3 laps to go. Well, not even that. 2 laps and 3 corners to go. Mazziato has been caught by the leader of the championship. It's Veloce Racing versus Robum Engineering. There's then nearly a 2-second gap back to Hayden Schultz. This would be a stunning debut R7 podium for Hayden Schultz if he can hang on. But he's got Teague Hobbs breathing all over him as they come past us in our commentary position. Chris Parrish hanging on in 5th place. Now 7 seconds behind, so it looks as though your race winner is coming from one of these 4 riders. It may not be the usual 7 or 8 riders at the front, but there's no shortage of drama here.
No, not at all, especially these last couple laps. I think there's going to be even more drama. We're going to have a battle for the win and then a battle for the last podium spot.
De Keyrel gets the slipstream, and now Mazziato has been caught. The question, I believe, is when, not if. But De Keyrel is a smart rider. He's not going to do anything stupid. He might not know, of course, that Jackson Blackmon is out because very few teams are using pit boards here because of this unique nature that we've got where the start line and the pit lane is in 2 different positions. So right now, De Keyrel may not even be aware that his nearest rival's on the floor.
And something, Anthony Mazziato is really struggling here toward the end of the race. His last lap was a 38.6. That's a 1.5 seconds slower than his best lap of the race. So I don't know if he's running out of tire or what, but he's definitely really slowed his pace up.
Teague Hobbs has now got back ahead of Hayden Schultz. We just saw a glimpse of the orange and blue in the back of the picture. Hayden Schultz still riding strongly, but De Keyrel, he looks like he's a man on a mission, doesn't he? He looks so determined. Not saying that Mazziato doesn't, but another small mistake there from Mazziato. And this is just the pressure. You've never won a MotoAmerica race in Twins Cup. The pressure starts to get to you. He's never been in this position before.
And also the pressure just rises every lap, right? Your board's coming down 0.5 second a lap, then, 0.7 a lap. And, the laps are winding down. There's only going to be, they've got a lap and 2 corners left.
into turn 11 under the bridge, which reminds me a lot of the Motegi twin ring circuit in Japan. They go left and go right and left in Japan. They go left and right here in the United States, heading across the line. Then the white flag is out. They're going to be side by side. This is going to be a brave move from Kaleb De Keyrel at Brainerd International Raceway. BII doesn't make it through at the moment. He's in a perfect position, heading down towards turn 2. Still hasn't shown Anthony Mazziato a wheel. Where's he going to do it, Roger? Where is he going to stick the front of that Robum engineering Aprilia inside the Veloce machine?
I thought he could maybe get a little closer in the draft through there and maybe get there and make a mistake, but you know, he's a couple bike lengths back. He's going to have to get closer on this last lap if he's going to make a pass.
Different lines on the exit of turn 3 into turn 4. Kaleb De Keyrel just keeping a watching brief. No need to panic. Championship on the line for the 51. Nothing to lose for the 516, who, as Robbie Floyd has said, will be at the next race as well. And this is going to be a great chance for De Keyrel. He looks on the inside. No way through.
We've seen a couple guys like Mazziato run a little bit wide into the carousel and somebody sneak up the inside of him. It's going to be curious to see if Mazziato, you know, on this next long right-hander, if he keeps it tight and blocks the inside.
Carried a lot more corner speed than De Keyrel. De Keyrel is running out of opportunities. Look how tight, look how defensive Mazziato is going. That could cost him. That could hurt him on the run in front of us as they come through the chicane. A little wobble. Kaleb De Keyrel is perfectly placed. He's surely not going to go around the outside at turn 11. This is it. Coming up towards the penultimate corner. Can he get through on the inside? Mazziato goes defensive. That could cost him on the way out. It's all going to be about the exit. Mazziato's out of the sink. Kaleb De Keyrel's going to go around the outside of him. Oh, he takes it on the final corner. Mazziato went defensive, and that has cost him the race win. A perfectly timed final lap, and Kaleb De Keyrel takes the lead to extend his championship points advantage to more than 25 points. Mazziato misses out on a maiden win again, and Teague Hobbs completes the podium in 3rd position. Wow. Didn't see that coming.
No, not at all. And you got to feel for Anthony Mazziato to lead that race for so long and make that, you know, just that little mistake there the last corner and cost him the win. But, you know, hats off to Kaleb. He kept fighting that whole race and really picked up his pace and was consistent the whole time.
Now, I'm not a mathematician, but 15 plus 25 is 40. I believe that that is a 40-point advantage for Kaleb De Keyrel. These guys do not get twin races, 2 races in each event. They do here. But anything more than 50 points, we could be seeing a champion crowned before we get to Barber at the end of the season.
Yeah, and just Kaleb is just always consistent, and all, you know, he hasn't been that fast in practice and qualifying, but we talk about it all the time. When the race comes, he always finds his way toward the front.
So it is an Aprilia 1-2, as we've seen in the last couple of races. Kaleb De Keyrel winning again. Nice little wheelie. I tell you what, he's got some skills. And he's happy with that. That will mean a lot to Kaleb De Keyrel. Anthony Mazziato in 2nd. And Teague Hobbs in 3rd. Let's watch this. Talk us through it. Anthony Mazziato out of shape and very, very...
Yeah, you can just see how tight Mazziato is. And when he comes out of this corner, has a little bit more lean angle. When he gets on the gas, loses traction. Kaleb De Keyrel had it hooked up and was able to go around the outside.
I'm going to head down to the podium, so we're going to do a first here. We are going to leave you in the capable hands of Roger Hayden, who's going to make his Roger Hayden debut on MotoAmerica. Roger, take us through it.
You can just see how happy the team is. Kaleb, you know, winning your hometown race, looking around at all the crowd and seeing all the Kaleb De Keyrel shirts has to be feeling pretty good for him.
Yeah, Roger, as Michael Hill makes his way down to the victory podium, Kaleb De Keyrel, they got the green smoke flying out there. I'd have to think that might be CJ from 1833. CJ knows. I think they brought, you know, maybe the green. You see the orange for all the Dutch fans. KD51 must have the green smoke flying. Wow. I said that, you know, CJ knows how to pick winners. What do you think about Anthony Mazziato and his defensive line going into 12 or 11? And the 11, 12, 13 juncture there, he was determined to take that inside and make De Keyrel have to try and go around the outside.
Yeah, you know, you just it's easy to sit here and say you should have kept your normal line, but you never know. he does that defensive line or does his normal line, and Kaleb makes the pass, we're going to sit here and wonder why he didn't block the inside.
Right, and Kaleb was trying to set him up to do just that, right? I mean, he'd already dedicated himself to get all that drive out and maybe dive underneath, but when he saw Mazziato go so drastic inside, he only gave him one shot, and it paid off. 0.2 of a second faster than Anthony Mazziato when they crossed that checkered flag. Teague Hobbs, what a run. He was battling with Hayden Schultz that entire race and able to get the better of him and take another podium finish for him. Great job by Teague. Toby Comstock, another Robum rider in 6th place. They work our way through our 2nd page of the Twins Cup. Jackson Blackmon, you see there in 15th place, 4 laps down. At one point, it's not going to help him a bunch.
No, not when you're down 40 now, so I guess it would be probably, what, 39 now?
Yeah, it's just not what you wanted to see. Jackson Blackmon, who was 2nd in championship points, going to lose a ton here. Let's go down to Michael Hill. That's 4 wins for Kaleb De Keyrel.
Well, I tell you what, there is a lot of excitement down here in the pit lane. What about it? The hometown boy has won the Twins Cup race. Kaleb De Keyrel, what a final lap. Talk us through that. The crowd are going crazy down here, and you're shaking. Look how much that meant to you. What a race.
Oh, man, that was an amazing race. I can't thank my team enough. We you know, just kept going, kept working together, kept pushing through, and you know, there's tons of highs and lows in racing, and as we stick together as a team, that's what's going to get these victories. I can't thank everybody for coming out, all my friends, all my family from Minnesota, and getting this win here means so much to me. I can't thank you guys enough. I can't thank Robum Engineering, all my personal sponsors, Bell Helmets, 1833 CJ Nose, Bitcoin Bandit, Bob Cycle Supply, Von Lewis Music Group, everybody who supports the team. Thank you guys so much. We can't do this without you, and thank you guys for coming out and supporting me here in Minnesota. Let's go! Woo!
I think he's happy.
I know he's happy, Michael, and I think he was channeling his inner Levi LaValle, another Minnesotan who was here in his camp yesterday, a world record holder and snowmobile champion and X Games gold medalist, and yeah, they're doing it for Minnesota this weekend. But congratulations to Anthony Mazziato, another podium for him, but I know he wanted that top spot.
Yeah, let's keep the applause going down here for Anthony Mazziato, because that was one hell of a race from the 516 Veloce. A nice round of applause down here from the crowd, but obviously you're going to be disappointed, but you've got to take the positives. That was one stunning ride all race long.
Oh yeah, I definitely can't be upset with how I ride. Definitely just a little pissed off, you know. Rode my ass off that whole race, and once the tires started going away about halfway through the race, I just couldn't stay in the 37s and just was pushing as hard as I could, and I'm pretty sure you could see on all the rewinds and stuff, I was sliding all over the place on the last couple of laps. So happy not to be on the ground and to be back on P2. Veloce Racing, Spiros, Chris, all these guys that have been putting hella time into my bike. Jeff, the suspension guy. I'm probably the only race bike out here on Race Tech suspension, got the gold valve, so I can't be more happy, so thank you guys.
Thanks, Anthony, and again, apologies anybody watching that was offended by the language there.
Anthony Mazziato losing it there at the end as far as that rear grip, but I mean, he fought the entire time and he pushed it, and you got to give him some props because it wasn't like he was backing down and riding conservative, Roger. He was pushing to the end.
No, he was pushing as hard as he could, just ran out of tire there toward the end of the race, and it's something that him and his crew have to sit down and talk about tonight and try to figure out how they can make that Dunlop tire last a little longer for him.
Teague Hobbs with 2 victories. He takes a 3rd here today, his 4th podium of the season.
Yeah, 4th podium of the season for a pretty happy Teague Hobbs, who's doubling up this weekend in Superstock and Twins. Great ride, great podium. Welcome back to the top 3.
Thank you. Yeah, it feels good to be at the front with these guys again. Every race I get in, it's always a fun time battling, and if we can clean up some mistakes we made today, tomorrow's race will go a little bit different. I hope so, and I don't know. I'm looking forward to it.
We are too. Good job today, Teague. Back to you guys in the booth.
Doing it for Grampy there, and again, Katie 51, the Bitcoin Bandit, doing it here once again in the home state of Minnesota. Yeah, I mean, he's from Texas now, but he's originally from Minnesota. And 163 points this year. That is a 40-point advantage. Again, Mike said he's not good with math, but he can still count up to 40. Teague Hobbs barely within a 2-race distance, but Hayden Schultz, again, a strong finish for him in 4th. That's going to put him in 4th for the championship, getting by Chris Parrish by only 2. And Jody Berry, the difficulties with that machine going down, and it really cost him today. Liam McDonald inside that top 10 on the number 37. So we crown another champion in the Twins Cup. We still have another big bike race, big bike, I say that with small riders. SportBikeTrackGear.com Junior Cup coming up in a bit, and Mike on the mic as well. See what he has to say.